Ladies and gentlemen of the old world, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be Khorne led by Death Pancakes facing off against the Chaos Dwarfs, who shall be helmed by Broken Butterfly here on the Whirling Maelstrom, which is one of the cooler looking maps in the game. It has all these cool Zinchian effects going on. You guys will see in a moment, but man, it'd be really cool if they did one for the... I mean, we have Putrefying Carcass as well. Khorne does have one, but imagine a Khorne one with just a volcano erupting. It'd be some crazy shit. I don't know if that's possible, but who knows. So taking a look here at the armies of Khorne, it's going to be Marauders and looks like some Wrathmongers. Wrathmongers are just difficult to deal with for most factions, so having them in there is pretty good. Granted, I think Chaos Dwarves can use the trains to kill them pretty effectively. The Iron Demon and the Skullcracker, we'll have to see. It is going to be double Cultists, which is always a good choice, especially against Chaos Dwarves. You engage them in the front line against the Laborers, and while they're fighting against the unpaid interns, what they're going to be doing is building up the charges of their Bloodletter summon, and then you use that to get into the Chaos Dwarf secondary line. And a very Chad pick coming in here from Death Pancakes. It is also going to be Arbal the Undefeated. We're going to see if he can live up to that name today. He is going to be getting afflicted by a Spirit Leech, which won't do much damage at all against him because he's got fat spell resist of 50%. He is riding a Flesh Hound, of course, and is Khorne, so that brings all the goodies there. For the Chaos Dwarfs, and for the Broken Butterfly, it's going to be a Sorcerer of Death. Not a terrible idea. Spirit Leech is just always a decent spell. I mean, it's not going to do a lot of damage against Helmy, but it can add up over the course of a long game. Couple units of Orc Laborers backed up by Chaos Dwarf Warriors and Fire Glaives. Triple Skirmisher going to be taking advantage of the mobility here to grab the objectives out of the gates, and those Fire Glaives going to need to put in some heavy lifting here for sure. Now, for the Chaos Dwarves, probably your best bet would be to engage away from the tree line. You're a gun line faction, right? So you don't want to be getting obfuscated here by the trees and having line of sight issues. Put your back up towards this rock right here and fight this direction, and then just kind of loosely defend to the backside, I would say. That would just be my 2 cents. A little bit of a domination scheme there. So in the back, we do have an Iron Demon. Iron Demon have good shooting capabilities, but also are decent against the... are really, really good against infantry. It's the other way around, essentially. Spirit Leech activated on Arbal. He is going to be eating a little bit of damage. Now the Fire Chads are going to be shooting. Granted, they're okay against infantry with their shooting. It's not really what they're designed for, but even still, it'll do a little something against these Marauders as the unpaid interns and the Chaos Dwarf Warriors do advance in. Now, the Sorcerer Prophet on the Bale Taurus might be able to bully Arbal. It's hard to say. His stats are a lot better. If I'm not mistaken, although it looks like he's afflicted right now with some sort of witchcraft. Yeah, you can currently see he's the terrain is ooh, look at that. It includes the terrain advantages and stuff. Pretty cool. Yeah, 75-45, and we do have 56-40. So the Bale Taurus, of course, has a lot more HP. Breath Attack going to be coming in on the Bale Taurus on the Chaos Warriors, and we do see the Iron Demon moving in. Iron Demons are really good. In tabletop, they're probably one of the best things that the Chaos Dwarfs have, and they do manage to roll dirty through those formations right there, and will be an excellent tool at dealing with the Wrathmongers and the more elite units that will be moving in. On the middle, the two hero units for Khorne, the Cultists going to be battling Chaos Dwarf Warriors. Very cost effective for them. They should be able to grind that one out. And on the bottom side, it looks like the Chaos Dwarves are caught in a skirmish fest versus the Hounds of the Blood Hunt, which are very, very good, as well as the Marauder Horsemen. A couple Wolf Rider Bows going to be moving in to try and intercept there, but you definitely are going to need a little something to deal with these. So nice usage by Death Pancakes, calling it a very hard to deal with unit because Chaos Dwarf Mobility doesn't really have anything that can deal with the Hounds except, Bull Centaur Renders, which are very, very expensive and much slower. So using them to screen out these guys is a pretty good call. Back in the middle, Objective 2 is owned by the Chaos Dwarves, but it is going to be flipping to the Champions of the Blood God. And here you can see the Cultists going to be getting their charges up. But in the meantime, the Pain Trains are, as their name would infer, delivering pain, doing some really good damage against the Wrathmongers, who are already down to about half health. So a very, very cost-effective answer there. And the Bale Taurus character is going to be fighting with the homies, trying to wear down these Chaos Warriors, and might be able to get there eventually. But the really unfortunate thing for the Chaos Dwarf player is both of his Infernal Guard Fire Glaives got tied up in melee by chaff units, essentially. Here, all Chaos Warriors aren't really chaff, but it doesn't feel great for them. Granted, they have gotten Arbal down to half HP, because they are halberds as well. They're not the best halberds, but they do have some anti-large. So that's actually cost-effective for these guys. These guys are probably going to be sitting at about 700-800 value right here, give or take. Close enough, still got it. And the other unit of Infernal Guard should flee back. It should run back as far as possible, then call in some Kadai Fireborn, which are actually really good in this matchup, to come in and clean up the chasing infantry would be the idea. Wrathmongers still in decent shape at 24 models. Chaos Dwarves do lose this objective, and it looks like it is going to be a triple cap here for Khorne. So Khorne is going to be getting all the goodies. Granted, Hashut is far from done here as he does run in, runs through some of those Khornate Warriors or Marauders right there. Maybe going to be able to break them in a moment. We'll have to see. While the Hobgoblins move in to provide a little bit of fire support as well. Also, we do see the Bull Centaurs being utilized here by the Chaos Dwarves. So it looks like they came down and around this way and then came up and intercepted the two Cultists. Now, the Cultists are on foot. So they're actually going to be very resilient against the Bull Centaurs, which don't have the best melee attack, but they make up for it by having a thick bonus first large of 25. So the Bull Centaurs are going to want to find, you know, the Flesh Hounds. They're going to want to find Minotaurs, Arbal spawn. And it looks like Arbalin did use his spawn summon over here. So he was able to use the Eye of Chaos to kill one of his enemies here. That was very low. And did call in some Chaos Spawn of Khorne. No, look at the AoE explosion from Arbal. To putting in some work. The Fury of the Blood God, man. Epic. Nuking about 40% off the Blazing Beards of Basharak, which is a 950 gold unit. So Arbal, he looks so funny on his thing. It's like... Have you ever seen one of those videos on, like, you know, early internet videos or modern day videos, I guess, of like somebody trying to ride like a pig or like a child like riding a dog or something? It looks like Arbal like is in that situation when he's riding the Flesh Hound. It looks like it's something that just doesn't make sense to be rode, but yeah, it's Warhammer Fantasy. It is what it is. So Chaos Dwarf Warrior Great Weapon's going to be heading to the side objective here. Chaos Spawn being pretty disruptive. Now going to be jumping on top of the Infernal Guard Fireglaves. And Arbal is going to be hunting down the Iron Demon here. But he is getting afflicted by Spirit Leech and could be in some danger. If the Sorcerer Prophet decides to attack him, that would be a big victory for the Chaos Dwarves. We'll see if the Sorcerer Prophet will turn around and do it. But even still, Khorne does have their clutches on all the objectives. And those 3 victory tickets are getting pretty menacing here as they get to 620 points. And the Chaos Dwarves are going to be stuck at a lower amount. Granted, the Chaos Dwarves are starting to value trade well in some areas. The Pain Trains are doing well. Arbal is very, very low. The Bull Centaur Renders are maneuvering down to the low ground objective, which is a smart idea considering there's like 3 freaking Flesh Hounds over there, which, you know, this one Bull Centaur Render could probably take, I don't know if it could take all 3. If one of them is the ROR, it becomes even trickier, but they are kind of low. And the Bull Centaur Renders are injured also, but we'll have to kind of follow how that fights. If you just have the Bull Centaur Renders attack these guys and then call in 1 Wolf Rider, you would win that fight from there, for sure. So back here, we do see some more Harry Potter going down. It looks like I did miss a Sword of Khorne, and it did nail the Blazing Beards of Basharak, who've just been having a terrible time. They felt the Wrath of Khorne from Arbal, and then they felt the Sword of Khorne. They're just getting all the love. And Khorne now going to be utilizing its cultists, and the cultists are out on the board, and they do some of their Bloodletters. Bloodletters going to be turning around, going after the Blazing Beards of Basharak, perhaps. You can see a couple of these guys getting cut down here by the cultists as they retreat. But this could be a good swing back for the Chaos Dwarves. If they're able to get Arbal down, and it looks like he took a big whooping there from the Sorcerer Prophet, sitting at 7,000 HP, and Arbal, he can add defeated to his resume. He has been defeated here. But, I mean, if he wins the battle, maybe technically Khorne will forgive him, but I don't really know how that works in the Hall of Khorne. Arbal is going to be running away, wavering, terrified. He might be able to live and come back, so we will see. It'd be really funny if Arbal had, like, a buff that was, you know, kind of like Bretonia has that buff that they have the Lady's Blessings unless their leadership gets broken, then it goes away. They should give something like that to Arbal, where when he gets, like, defeated and breaks and runs, then he loses this, like, really cool buffer ability he has. But, you know, it'd be something, maybe make him cost more if it's really good, but I think the flavor on that would be very, very fun. Fireglave's going to be setting up. Very, very cool with their reloading animations. Fire, reload, fire, doing Hash It Proud as they nuke into the back of those Wrathmongers right there. So the Wrathmonger is going to be sitting at 2,600 HP, while the Hobgoblin Sneaky gets to advance up towards Objective Dose. On the backside, Arbal is getting Spirit Leech and taking like 30 damage a tick, which is not a whole lot. But even still, it's getting there and might be able to break him, and he is at -4 there. In the meantime, the Chaos Dwarves were able to take the side objective with the Blazing Beards of Basharak, as well as the Chaos Dwarf Warrior Great Weapons, and on this side, we do see the Iron Demon and the Hobgoblin Sneaky Gets battling the Bloodletters, which is a real Bloodletter summon, mind you, and they are able to really collect some skulls there from the Sneaky Gets. So Chaos Dwarves are on the warpath to get back in this game. They have been able to take this objective with Arbal being defeated and routed off the map here. The Sorcerer Prophet should be able to get him. I assume if he's just been casting Spirit Leeches all game, he's going to have more Spirit Leeches. So just chasing Arbal, getting him off the table is probably a good call, I think. Even though the Khorne player is going to probably run into the bushes and try and waste your time, it's worth it to get the leadership lower on the Khorne units to get him off the objectives. And here on the outside, we do see the Chaos Dwarf securing this objective here. So the 2 Hobgoblins able to get that with the Bull Centaur Renders, which of course probably had, 1,700 value. They really put a beat down on those Flesh Hounds most likely. And yeah, guys, going to be a wild game. Khorne is massively ahead on points, so they're going to have to gremlin the objectives, and it's not out of the realm of possibility, right? There's a couple points on the board where the Chaos Dwarves are just barely holding onto the objectives right here. So, for example, you can see Objective 3. I mean, it's like a 10% Iron Demon with some tattered Blazing Beards, with the Bloodletters are going to win. So Khorne is actually probably going to win this objective back, like straight up. Bloodletters chasing down some of the Chaos Dwarves right there, while the Iron Demon is going to be forced to retreat. Meanwhile, in the middle, objective is owned by the Blood God, but being contested by the Dwarfs. The Cultists didn't hear no bell either, nor did the Wrathmongers. The Wrathmongers, you know, despite being very low, still have a fair amount of capture weight, because I believe it's based on remaining models. I don't know, I'm getting old, I forget things. But even still, they do provide some capture weight here and are going to be fighting these units off, and the Blood God is not letting go easily. But when Big Daddy comes back, the Sorcerer Prophet is going to be returning to the battlefield, going to be able to potentially get some routes here. Let's look at the Chaos Dwarf Collins. Chaos Dwarfs on the backside do have some infantry being called in, some baseline Chaos Dwarf warriors. On the bottom side, it is owned by the Chaos Dwarves, but it looks like a Fleshhound's coming in to disrupt this, and the Chaos Dwarf player is going to be responding by sending a Hobgoblin in there, which is a very good call. Get in there, run down the Fleshhounds, live your best life. Iron Demon in the middle. Dude, this thing is so MVP. It's been literally at like 10% for like a year. Running down a Fleshhound of Khorne with some of the Bull Centaur renders, and the Sorcerer Prophet able to banish off those Khorne Gores there. With, Arball being gone, their leadership's going to be modified by -10, so going to be very tough for them. And with them being broken, you would want to run them down with the Hobgoblins because they're still pretty healthy. So you'd want to get as much value as you can chasing those units down there. On this point, it is owned by Chaos Dwarves. It is in flux, though. Khorne does have a little bit more capture weight there, it looks like. I don't know. It's pretty damn close. This guy has 3 capture weight. These guys are going to be at like around 3, give or take, depending on the models. But the Blood God is going to be advancing in with all of these Marauders, and it looks like the Chaos Dwarves do actually have the capture weight advantage. I just read it wrong. Because, yeah, the Cavalry are 4 base, and they still have over 30%, 50% of their models, so they should have more capture weight than a 3 capture weight cultist right there. Not by much, but enough to keep the objective in their clutches. Chaos Dwarves rocking objective number 2, and down on the low ground here, Khorne going to be coming across with some Fleshhounds, which are going to easily dispatch of these Hobgoblins. So really nice back and forth play by these guys. This has been a great game right here. As you can see, some of the Hobgoblins and the Sneaky Gits are going to be getting blasted and torn asunder. So there you have it. Sneaky Gits going to be getting routed, and this objective is now maybe going to be flipping back to Khorne, but good decision-making by our demons, well, there are demons on their roster, but by our Chaos Dwarf player. He's going to be maneuvering down the Bull Centaurs to try and chase them off. But what Death Pancakes would want to do in this position is just avoid them. Although maybe with the throwing axes he can win that, but if you just kite them in circles while the throwing axes shoot them, you have more capture weight than them, so you don't really need to engage them. I think that would be the play. Dwarf Warriors arriving to the middle, and it looks like here more Dwarf Warriors are going to be arriving here as well. Khorne really scrapping. I wonder if we're going to be seeing Arball come back. God, it must be such a pain for Khorne to have this Iron Demon just living with like no HP. That thing has just been cackling on him for so freaking long. So Iron Demon rolling in, and the Khorne Gore is going to be chopping, and they do get about 300 HP off that thing, so that's some decent value, getting very close to finishing it. Objective 3 for Chaos Dwarfs, Objective 2 for them as well, and they are eclipsing the point gap right now. And down here, it looks like this objective is going to be going to the Blood Gods Champions, as they were able to overwhelm the Bull Centaurs. Hounds of the Blood Hunt are the ROR, and they actually heal in combat. They have Gore Feast, which is very strong. So a solid ROR, definitely a decent one. So Khorne does get that objective, so they are going to be back on the board. The victory tickets are going to be moving, and over here we do see the Khornate Infantry trading reasonably well. Cultist maybe going to get this thing. That would be a big win, and the Cultist does come in with the steel chair with the rear attack. Looks like he maybe hit the coal exhaust there or something and was able to break the machine, so very neat stuff. Chaos Dwarf Infantry, though, are still Dwarves. Very resilient, very hard to move, and they're going to be holding on to that objective for dear life. The Hobgoblins are here fighting as well, and they do have the Malign Authority. So when they're fighting near Chaos Dwarves, they are going to be getting +8 leadership, which is actually very relevant for keeping them in the fight here. So they're going to be fighting, although Khorne probably will eventually get through them. With a Cultist there and just superior numbers, it's going to be very tricky. Chaos Dwarves is going to be moving their unpaid interns up on the middle objective, Orc Laborers en masse, and a Chaos Dwarf Warrior, really using that Contempt mechanic. While some Oglacon's boys try and fight the Hounds of the Flesh Hunt. Not going to be fun for the Oglacon's boys, although they are respectable fighters at 34, 28. The Flesh Hounds are just, they hit for like 60 weapon strength against light armor. It's pretty brutal. The Oglacon's do have 60 there, so yeah. There has been worse trades. Chaos Dwarves trying to muscle this one, and another Houndo is going to be coming in. Oh, that was just a regular Hound. Here's the Hound of the Flesh Hunt, so it looks like they did return. So I got those ones mixed up a little bit right there. Objective number 2 for Chaos Dwarves, and over here on objective number 3, it is going to be owned by Chaos Dwarves, but not for long. It looks like Khorne is going to be getting their clutches on this one. As it currently stands, Khorne would, or the Chaos Dwarves would win on just the, ooh man, it's close. No, yeah, the Chaos Dwarves would win on just the 2 objectives, but I think these are going to be flipping a lot. It has the makings of one of those games that's just going to be back and forth scrappiness. All right, Chaos Dwarves here in the middle. Chaos Dwarves on that one as well. This one's very heavily contested, and it does look like the Dowies are going to get it with the Wolf Riders here. Purple Son of Zerius coming down. Not going to do a whole lot, to be honest. And it does, I guess, chew up some of the Hounds, but the Hounds have such good spell resist, and Purple Sun isn't really good against monstrous things anyways, but Chaos Dwarves do stabilize that one. Khorne doesn't really look like they have much here to contest it. There is a Khorne Gore coming down here, but all of the Chaos Dwarf infantry should be able to win that fight. Those Flesh Hounds are going to be melting. And over here on objective number 1, the Chaos Dwarves do have that one, and the Chaos Dwarves also contesting this point very closely. The backside, Sneaky Gets coming in. Fleshhound's going to be diving them, and the Sneaky Gets probably will win that with their little throwing daggers, their precursor ammo. They'll most likely be able to clean up those hounds there as they do a couple hundred HP, shaken and stirred. And I think that's going to be probably it for Chaos Dwarfs, right? Khorne really looking out of steam, but man, what an impressive attempt, right, at getting back in the game after losing our ball and being pretty well behind in a lot of the fighting. Well, the value is still close, but I think that there's a couple things that aren't being tracked properly, and the fact that the Bale Taurus, a lot of the value that Khorne has, probably like 1,500, maybe close to 2,000 of it, is on the Sorcerer Prophet here, and he's still very much alive and functional, so that's a big variable to consider when you're looking at those stats. So yeah, as it currently stands, the Chaos Dwarves would pretty comfortably win on just the 2 objectives. There are going to be some Sneaky Gets coming in here. We do see the Chaos Dwarf Warriors with Great Weapons battling against the Fleshhounds, and another Fleshhound unit going to be piling in, but when the Sneaky Gets get on the point, it is going to flip the capture weight to the forces of the Dowie Tsar, and it begins to flip. Chaos Dwarf Warriors here wavering for some reason. I really thought they would hold against these hounds, but those hounds are showing no mercy. Capture weight isn't going to flip. With this flipping, it's probably going to be the end for Khorne. It's going to take away the last vestiges of hope that they do have. Here we see more horsemen coming in. Khorne is all up on this one, and the Dowie Tsar infantry, I guess the infantry quality here wasn't as good as I thought. I thought this was a normal Chaos Dwarf infantry, but it was an unpaid intern here. So obviously they're not going to be able to hold this one super well. So that is maybe going to flip. Meanwhile, down here, this one does go to the Dowie Tsar. More Hobgoblins on the way in. Some Chaos Dwarf Warriors are rotating. Middle's being held by unpaid interns here. And really, really tight game, though. Man, Khorne is just going hard, despite having some rough situations here. And could we see a throw from the Chaos Dwarves? I don't think they're going to leave their lord in a bunch of halberds. Looks like they did run away from the Khorne Gores here. And Khorne does manage to get that point, though, pretty damn big. And the throwing axes are doing a bunch of damage against the Sorcerer Prophet, who's sitting at about 2,300 HP. So getting worn down here. They continue circling. Fleshhound's coming. Marauders of Khorne on their way over there. Nice firm double cap here for the Dowie Tsar. And yeah, as it stands, it's going to be a tight game, but the Chaos Dwarves should win it unless they do blunder one of these objectives in the next minute here. We do see some heavy capture weight coming in. They're going to need to rotate all their units up there for sure. The Fleshhounds here do get broken. One of them is wavering. But all these skirmishers need to go to the middle. That is for sure. Over here, Khorne does have its horsemen there, but the Chaos Dwarves do manage to get some infantry there. Might be able to outmuscle that one. And definitely want to send the Chaos Dwarf Warriors into melee versus the Marauder Horsemen. Try and push them off if you can. What does Khorne have coming in right now? We do see some Fleshhounds maneuvering to the middle. And that middle objective is going to get captured here maybe by Khorne. You got to move those guys onto the objective here, guys. Getting a little bit sketchy, as we do see the Chaos Dwarves pass them in points for the first time here. Khorne maybe going to get the double cap. Oh my god, this is actually really, really tight. He needed to move all these skirmishers up here 5 minutes ago. Oh my god, is Khorne going to have the comeback? I thought this game was 100% over, but now we are maybe cooking with something, ladies and gentlemen, as we do see the flip right there. It is going to be going to the Blood Gods champions, but he is, I think, still going to need a triple cap in this situation, as the Chaos Dwarves, yeah, he gets it. But it's a little bit too late. Man, what a nice attempted comeback. But the Dowie Tsar and Broken Butterfly getting it done for Hashut with a 20-point margin. GG. And that just goes to show, man, even when a game might seem like it's over, you keep scrapping, you keep ratting, your opponent might make mistakes, you might be surprised. And that was a really good showcase of resilience in the face of adversity, with our ball kind of getting balled on pretty good there. All right, fun stuff. I enjoyed it. Overall, I think the build was fine. More Marauder Horsemen throwing axes probably would have been welcome. Wrathmonger ended up getting 1,400 value. Pretty cool to see. I love the cultists. They're disruptive. And Arbol, I think that Valkia is probably your best bet in this matchup because she's so good at bullying the Sorcerer Prophet with her Demon Shield. And Saupnir is really good against the Elite Infantry. And she also counters the trains. And the Chaos Warriors are okay here. Probably going more chaff-centric and going wider would be better, but it's honestly totally fine. And the Chariot was the big... I'm not a big fan of Chariots against Chaos Dwarves myself. They have a fair amount of mass that can pin those things down. All right, guys, GG, well played. Great game by Death Pancakes, an amazing game by Broken Butterfly as well. And that was a great Dowie Tsar performance. You know, despite losing and not really having your centerpieces, your two Fireglaves do very well, still was able to scrap back and get a win there. Definitely should cut the bolt thrower out of that build, though. That would be my one critique. And get a second train. The Iron Demons are so freakishly good against Khorne. You want to get two of them. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. See you around. And that is going to be it for tonight. Cheers.